Krishna Mura. Go, Krishna, you're ready? Marurika, I don't know how to do this. Would you like to sit there and play cartels? Do you have cartels? No. Do we have cartels? No, Radhika Ranjan, you also know to play cartels. Oh yeah. Michael? Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya. Please join me. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari. My dear devotees, we will now sing, but I request you to immediately apply what we have learned perhaps or heard yesterday. The first thing has to do with the mind. Do you remember the Sanskrit? Mana Samharanam, collecting the mind. So you are now sitting in Kintal. It's only a few more days. So you should feel inspired to bring your mind to the Kirtan, which is coming now. And then you also bring the mind. Where do you bring it? In the heart, yes. What does this mean? I mean, the mind is so subtle and the heart is even more subtle. How do I bring it? Well, it's simple. You connect with your spiritual essence, your soul, and you sing devotionally to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, I thank you all for coming back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do hope that this will be inspiring, will be at least very surprising at one stage. My dear everyone, what we really tried to do in our first lecture could be summarized with the word centering, or in the words of the Bhagavatam, Mano Hridi Samadhino. The mind is coming into the heart, really, and remains situated there. When we speak here of heart, it is not a romantic notion, but it is the devotional heart, the space where the Lord is, that space which Narottam Das Thakur would call the temple of the heart, Hridaya Mandire. No? And we spoke about the need to go in a succession. First, the physical body is singing, making sure, or I'm always with Kirtan, but making sure you pray. Let's stay with the prayer. The mind is following consciously the words. So you go from the body and the mind, and you sink even deeper into the heart by bringing devotional expression into this, no? Devotion, gratitude, surrender, these qualities. Centering is the idea. In another talk today, I talked about it in terms of an example which I feel is so relevant that I would love to repeat it. As restless children, we would go regularly to the playground, and one of our favorite plays would to step on the spinning wheel. As far as I remember, that was moved from outside by one of the attendants of the playground. So it was a platform, a little bit like this table. You see, it's round, only that it had a diameter of perhaps 4 meters or 3 meters, like this. And so we children went on there, and it started to spin. And as it went faster, we held the arm of our friends, our neighbors, but after some time we would eventually fly out of the spinning wheel with joyful laughter. North German play, So I don't know. I have not seen them. I have seen little versions of the spinning wheel, but I always wanted to figure out how can I stay maximum amount of time on the spinning wheel, until I found out a simple solution. I had to just move to the center. There was a pole, usually a metal. It was a metal pole, and I had to put my arms around it and clutch it like this, and then. Even when the attendant put it on super fast, we would just be there and stay there. So centering yourself is a practice not only done on playgrounds. Life is very fast. Our mind is very fast. It spins and turns and moves about. But if you are someone who has learned the art of centering, him or herself will not fly off or fly away or move away from the practice. This is very important for practicing devotees of Krishna. It is very important, and as we saw, it was many times mentioned in the Bhagavatam, this practice. It comes always when there is discussion of meditation, of prayer, and so on. It's always, there's always centering. Also, yes, this is very necessary. Otherwise, you will be in the Kirtan, but you will spin around on the wheel of your mind, and you will fly out of the Kirtan at one stage. In other words, lose your connection. Good. This was the first session. Let us now go into the second session. I want to bring out now a second principle. And in the next class, I think tomorrow is our Kirtan day. There will be a morning class by Kosharupa Mataji, and then the day after, that is Thursday and Friday, there will be classes by Keshava Maharaj in the morning and by myself. So in that coming Thursday class, I want to present to you a jewel of prayer of Queen Kunti. But for today, I have something else in mind, which is my surprise. It will come out very soon. These prayers of Queen Kunti, which you find in the 8th chapter of the first canto, 8th chapter, are very, very, very important, because through these prayers we are actually taught the art of prayer. Keep in mind, you can learn the principles, but your prayers will always be your prayers, because you have to switch your mind on, and you have to enter and center yourself in your devotional space. It is you. But we can pick up the principles. These prayers, which we will learn something today and tomorrow, are very dear to Prabhupada's heart. When he came in the end of winter of 65 to New York, he was a stranger in a strange land. We can only say it like this. He had a little one-room somewhere, but to cook his meals and take showers, Prabhupada needed to go down, walk in the ice-cold storms of New York. Our Vrindavan Vinodini and Govinda can tell us, I mean, the winter in New York is mercilessly cold, isn't it? And the winds, ooh. If you have a bad tooth, don't go out. He went down to the Riverside Drive. Prabhupada had only an overcoat and a sweater, and his dhoti was thin, and his shoes were these pointed little plastic shoes, absolute Vrindavan style, and Vrindavan dress, not meant for New York winter. Now, during this time, he recorded himself singing the prayers of Queen Kunti. Now then, on the 31st of June, 1967, a crisis struck Prabhupada that felled him to the ground. It rendered him helpless. It was a stroke, a minor stroke, but a stroke is stroke. During this time, he requested 3 things from his disciples. A picture of Lord Nrsingadev. He asked them to chant the Nrsinga prayers before this picture and the Hare Krishna mantra, second thing. And the third thing, he asked his servant to recite the prayers of Queen Kunti to him. This is how important he thought these prayers to be. Then, in a few years later, in August 74, Prabhupada came down with another health crisis, this time in Vrindavan Dham. Again, he was felled to the ground. I remember all over the world the telegram machines or telefax machines told the temples to now do 3 things. Recite prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, and sing the Hare Krishna mantra. And again, he requested his servant in attendance, Brahmananda at that time, Prabhu, to recite to him, while he was in this helpless condition, the prayers of Queen Kunti. And later, same year, he wrote to Brahmananda a letter of thanks. And in this letter, he said, I have summarized the letter. It's not the entire letter which you hear. Actually, I was very ill. I was falling down. But by your prayers, Krishna has kindly made me recover. Just like Srimati Kunti Devi, when there was difficulty, she prayed to Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Not that when there is difficulty, I shall forget Krishna. Whatever the material condition may be, we should just cling to Krishna's lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So who is this Queen Kunti? What are her life circumstances? I think if we understand this, we will understand the heart out of which these prayers come, and then we will allow these prayers perhaps to touch our heart and our life more significantly. So I will spend now a little time to tell you about 3 lives in one life of Queen Kunti. She was born as the daughter of Maharaj Surasena. Who is Surasena? Any idea? I think you have heard, but Krishna's grandfather, someone seemed to say. Now, Surasena had a friend, Maharaj Kunti Bhoja, the leader of the Bhoja clan. He was a smaller king. You must know in Europe, kingdoms are quite large, but in India, they are small. Kings ruled over a manageable place, and they were like fathers to their subjects, ideally. So Maharaj Kunti Bhoja was the leader of a clan. We would say a tribe, but that's too disrespectful. And he remained childless. In his family, with his wife, he was not blessed with a child. So out of sincere friendship to his friend, Kunti Bhoja, Surasena made the promise that if another child would be born to him and his family, he would give it to Kunti Bhoja. Different times. So this little baby was torn from the breast of her mother, and as an infant given away for adoption to Maharaj Kunti Bhoja. We know of someone, a child, who has been given away by her mother. The mother was a prostitute, and she sincerely felt that it was, from her point of view, an accident to have the child. And she sincerely felt, I don't want my child to go into the type of life which I live, a life full of suffering, and gave the child free for adoption. It is slightly problematic, but the child turned out wonderfully. Kunti also became very, very at home in Kunti Bhoja's kingdom. Kunti Bhoja was a good person and had a carefree childhood. But then something happened that ended it all. Kunti Bhoja had a problematic guest. I mean, problematic is maybe not the word. It was the great yogi Durvasha, who was known for his irritable character. Any small thing, and he would curse and take a hair out of his many hairs, throw it to the ground, create a demon who would get after you. He was heavy, but highly realized on the other hand. And Kunti Bhoja, Maharaj Kunti Bhoja said, if there is anyone who could serve him, who has such good qualities and is so humble and nice and sweet in her manners, it's my daughter Kunti, my adopted daughter. So Kunti served him, and she served him so nicely, almost reading his mind, that Durvasha said, I give you a blessing, a mantra. Now be careful with blessings from yogis. This was an intense mantra. By this mantra, she could call any devata whom she wanted to see. That's all the information she had. So once, being a little girl, ready for explorations, she called for the sun god, and the sun god in all his brilliance came to her, and Kunti, seeing the sun god, so much brilliance, so much power, so much effulgence, so much sattva, so much everything. She said, oh, I'm very honored. Should I offer you something to eat? No need. I don't eat your food. I'm different. Yes, said Kunti. Good. Then I have to also attend to some duties. May I take your leave? No. There must be union between us. You called me. I'm untouched by any man. I'm a virgin. No problem, said Suryadev. I will keep this intact, and there will be a child. So if a god proposes, what chance? There was a union, and almost instantly a son was born. He had a golden armor and 2 gold rings. Kunti quickly hit him. How could her adventure, if you so want, be known to the palace? This would be a scandal. So she hit him. But when the little boy started to scream, she saw no other possibility but to put him in a basket, bring him to Mother Ganga, and put him in the basket, and said, I'm entrusting you to Mother Ganga. And as the little boy with the toe in the mouth and the basket drifted down the Ganga, she followed a little, as long as she could, and then she whispered, by your golden earrings and your armor, I will recognize you in the future. For now, our ways are parting. And she fell unconscious to the ground. Hare Krishna. There is a third life of Mother Kunti. She actually married, and it is the hardest life, the king of Hastinapur, Maharaj Pandu, and shortly after the marriage, her husband went out on a military campaign that kept him from home and from his newly wedded wife for 1 entire year. When he came back, he had subdued all the other kings and brought them under the crown of Hastinapur, but he announced a decision that was painful for Kunti. He said, we will go in the forest now and live like ascetics. There were reasons for this, but in order to enter the reasons, we would have to study politics at Hastinapur, and this is really not a nice katha, and also takes a lot of time. So, in the forest, due to a curse, Pandu could not, how do you say that, conceive children or conceive children? Do you say it? Queen Kunti came then and said, Pandu, I know you wish to have children, but if you would lay by the side of me or Marjorie, your other wife, you would die. But there is a solution. What is the solution? I know a mantra. And she told him everything. By all means, try the mantra. So first she said the mantra and thought of Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj came, and together they conceived who? Yudhishthira after son. Wow, said Pandu, it works. Fantastic. Then please, after some time, again you please call. And she used her mantra and called Indradev. And from the combination, who was born? Arjun. And the next was who? Bhimsen. Who was his father? Vayu, very strong. The wind can move everything. So, and then 2 twins came to Marjorie. Yes. Pandu died a tragic death, and Marjorie followed him on the funeral pyre, which Kunti had to establish. You know, she had to organize the wood and set the fire ablaze. And then she was there with 5 boys, impeccable boys, and she somehow thought, I can't raise them in the forest. And she informed the saints, come and accompany me with my family to Hastinapur, the throne of Hastinapur, because these boys are actually the future rulers of the world. The moment Kunti arrived in Hastinapur, she was met with jealousy by Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And in the evening, Vyasadeva came by and said, O Queen Kunti, the days of your peace are gone. Peace? This was a quite eventful life. Soon chaos will be unleashed. There will be a war. Oh no, said Kunti. But before the war of Kurukshetra, many intrigues came. There was constant attempts to assassinate her children. There were constant political intrigues. Queen Kunti had to see how the wife of her 5 sons, name? Draupadi, was humiliated in the public by an attempt to see her naked before the court of Hastinapur. And Kunti had to see how her sons, the 5 sons, the rightful heirs to the throne, were sent into the wilderness for 12 years and 1 extra year of exile. When Arjuna went and left Hastinapur, he kicked dust with his feet. And dust was all over. Vidura was asked, why is he moving like this? Well, he's telling us that when he's back, his arrows will come in innumerable forms, like particles of dust, and destroy this whole wicked dynasty. This was in Queen Kunti, when she saw her sons leaving like this. Every son did something to pronounce what they would do when the exile is over. She fainted to the ground into the dust and for a long time could not be revived. I have so many notes, it's for many days of talking, but I need to go quick here. The life was not easy for Queen Kunti. Then, I want to read to you something. But however difficult the situations were for Queen Kunti, she had a mysterious nephew. Remember, she comes from Surasen, and she had a brother called who? Vasudev, and Krishna appeared to him. So Krishna was technically the nephew of Kunti. So, and this son of her elder brother Vasudev always came to her rescue. She knew in her heart that he was God, although Krishna did everything he could to make her forget that. Whenever Krishna, for instance, would meet Kunti, he would bow down to Kunti. She would tightly embrace him, and she would cry, and Krishna would offer his shoulder, which then was moistened with her tears. Sometimes he would ask advice of Kunti. Kunti, auntie, how do we solve this situation? Sometimes he would console her grief. Sometimes he would wipe away her tears. At other times, Krishna would ask Kunti for blessings. It was as if he, although being the all-powerful mover behind the incidents of history, was yearning to receive the love of Kunti and the affection and so on. Therefore, you will see Kunti's prayers are mixed. Sometimes she addresses Krishna with the awe and reverence which you do address someone who is so supreme, but sometimes the sweetness of intimate, close relationship and love would show, because Krishna moved in these ways with her. Now, at the end of the war, a terrible war for Kunti, a heart-rendering war, we find her in the crowd when she says goodbye to Krishna. Krishna is on his way from Hastinapur to his town Dwarka. You know everything already. When he is just about to say goodbye and everything seems to be all right, a terrible atom bomb-like weapon comes, the Brahmastra, which was released by Ashwatthama. When it arrives, it splits into 5, not like in these low-budget Indian movies. How do you say low budget? Low budget, yeah. But it splits into 5 and attacks the 5 Pandava brothers. And the other weapon, which was thrown by one of the last survivors of Kulaśekhara war, is making its way to the unborn embryo, the heir to the Pandava dynasty in Uttara's womb. So Krishna is already on his chariot, ready to leave. But with his own Brahmastra, he deflects the 5 Brahmastras aimed at the Pandavas, and then he enters personally, this is Krishna, my dear devotees, into the womb of Uttara, and there are 2 different descriptions, I will tell you. The one, he uses his club, the Komodaki, to whirl it around and make a shield, and deflects the sixth Brahmastra. My God, this was something that was so amazing. Everyone stood in awe and reverence. They saw only how Krishna somehow deflected the upcoming danger, and he was now willing to go. He said to Dwaraka, let us go now. And at that moment, Queen Kunti rushes forward and says these most beautiful prayers that are born from a heart that knows that there is only one shelter in this world, Krishna. Once Prabhupada gave a definition of humility. It's something else which you have heard. He said, the moment a devotee understands that not by his intelligence he can be saved, not by his wealth he can be saved, not by his skills he can be saved. And then he said to the devotee, not by your gun you can be saved, but only by Krishna. That is true humility. Humility, my dear devotees, is something else than it has become culturally acceptable in our movement. That what we do is also wonderful, I don't want to say. But it means really, the Sanskrit word dainya means a feeling of utter helplessness, a feeling of wretchedness. You have nothing in your possession to save yourself or to establish yourself or act or whatever. This is the place from which prayer can come, and from which, by the way, chanting can also arise. True chanting. It's a feeling of helplessness and the knowledge that only you, Krishna, are my Lord and Master. So she says these wonderful prayers in a mood of absolute surrender to Krishna. She says, one of the prayers is, please repeat after me. It's small lines, it's easy. One moment. Vipada shantu ta shashvat, vipada shantu ta shashvat, tatra tatra jagat guru, bhavato dashanam yatsya. Apuna bhavadarshanam. Apuna bhavadarshanam. Beautiful. She says, in essence, please do not go. Without you, she will say a little later, we are like a body without soul. Dead. And then, but in this verse she says, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. Remember, Krishna always came and lent his shoulder to Queen Kunti. So I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Utter shelter in Krishna. Valuing Krishna, a Krishna consciousness above all other shelters. This was the Krishna consciousness which we learned from Srila Prabhupada also. I would really love to tell you a little incident that makes this clear. Let me see. Yes. So once, it was in San Francisco, a telegram from India arrived. Telegrams means it's an urgent message. It's coming. It goes very fast. It's quite expensive, and so on. So Janaki, one of our god sisters, brought the telegram to Prabhupada and said, "A telegram from India, Srila Prabhupada." Prabhupada saw and put it to the side. "Will you not open it?" Later. So she came in after half an hour to put perhaps water to the plants or something, and she saw the telegram was unopened at the same place. Srila Prabhupada, there's this telegram, is also there. Prabhupada looked at her a little. "Why do you remind me? I know." So she went out, and after 1 hour she again returned. Telegram means very urgent message. Prabhupada, she asked, "Prabhupada, have you read the telegram?" "Yes." "Good news?" "Yes, my sister died." Imagine, new devotee. How is this good news? She was the most Krishna conscious of all of us. She went back to the Lord, back to Godhead. And then Prabhupada cried like anything. Spiritually, it is good news. But as a human being, Prabhupada, of course, missed his dear elder sister. No? So this we learn from the great devotees. The absolute putting Krishna's shelter or Krishna's presence or Krishna above everything else. So therefore she says, calamities were good because for this one reason, not because they are calamities, but Krishna, we would see you again and again. And therefore, this is so blissful and so good that calamities, they actually disappear in relationship to that. Therefore, Prabhupada also said, it's good that she went back to Godhead. Positive news. Can you understand this logic? Can you follow this logic in your life? This is a good question, no? In prayer, my dear devotees, we do learn to slowly and slowly and slowly, more and more and more, in other words, to make Krishna the center of our existence in our life. Prayer, when you sit down and do it in the way we have learned yesterday, put your mind into your heart, no? Gajendra path and Bhagavatam path, that's your time alone with Krishna. And in that time alone with Krishna, you learn to make Krishna the center of your life. And if you have made Krishna the center of your life, the wheel of life can turn you and spin you around, but you won't fly away. This also brings us to the point of yesterday, one of the points of yesterday. Prayers means to come into the presence of the Lord. And even if you asked him, because you may ask a purely spiritual thing, let my love for you increase, or give me strength to serve you. These were two prayers which Prabhupada suggested. personal prayers. But even if you asked him in times of a crisis for help, just that you are with Krishna is the greatest benefit. I am taking from a book of our Keshava Maharaj, Think Gita, from the first part, an interesting section on unanswered prayers. I think it's important for you to know in prayers, it's not for, at least for Vaishnavas, the benefit is not always, oh, that that you got an extra simply wonderful, or I'm sorry, this is not a nice way of introducing the subject, that something which you wanted was fulfilled. I'm reading a prayer from an unknown Confederate soldier. There was a soldier that was in America, some war confederation was there. I remember something, but no need to look for American history here. This is a prayer session, no? So he says, a war-experienced soldiers, perhaps his dress is a little smoky because the bullets were shooting through his arm and everything. I asked you for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn humbly to obey. No, I wanted strength. In war you need strength. I became weak. Maybe he was shot in the arm, so that I humbly obeyed. I asked for health, that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity, that I might do better things. I asked for riches, that I might be happy. I was given poverty, that I might be wise. I asked for power, that I might have the praise of men. I was given weakness, that I might feel the need of God. I arranged my life to get likes on Facebook, but my webpage crashed. Oh, sorry. Modern interpretation. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing that I asked for, but everything that I had hoped for. Almost despite myself, my unspoken prayers were answered. I am among all men most richly blessed. My dear devotees, in prayers, we turn to the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada said the ideal prayer is what? Let me forget you. No, let me love you. Yes. And make me strong. I'm a little weak now, so that I can serve you. No, it's about Krishna, being with Krishna. And when we are when there is a crisis and we ask for some confidential help, we think, whatever Krishna, and the way he answers, that is all right. When Prabhupada was very ill, he wanted to teach us this principle. We asked him for the prayer to pray to Krishna, so that he would stay. And he said like this, we should pray like this. Oh, my dear Lord, our Master has not yet finished his work. If you so desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. If you so desire. This is how the devotee approaches Krishna. We want to be close to Krishna. Now you might say, my dear, I don't have that much faith in Krishna. There is a prayer which you can pray. Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives this. In Bhakti Vinod Vani Vaibhava, I found it. How you can keep your faith in Krishna. Would you like to know this prayer?
Yes.
It is spoken from a very devotional heart. The author of this prayer is no one than the king Kulaśekhara. Kulaśekhara is made immortal in the Vaishnava history through his book. What is his book? Mukunda Mala Stotra, but also through something else. He asked that him and his wife should be at the thresholds of Vaishnava temples. That means there's the threshold which you cross to get into the temple, and engraved in the threshold is one figure of a Vaishnav and a Vaishnavi. They pay their obeisances. You can see that in the Radha Raman temple, for instance. And when you go over this, your dust from your feet will fall on these two personalities. It's King Kulaśekhara, and I don't know the name of his wife, his wife, the queen. No? So he has written he's very devotional, you can see. Imagine we would say, someone would say, some ISKCON Swami, when I die, just put me somehow in the threshold of the Washington D.C. temple and all the other temples which would accept me, and then everyone who goes steps on me and goes across me. Very, very deep request, no? So he said something about faith in Krishna. He prayed to Krishna by highlighting some of the attributes of Krishna. May the spiritual master of the three worlds, Sri Krishna, protect us all. He is the original Guru. May he protect us all. Krishna is also known as Vishvambara. He manifests this world, he maintains it, and in time destroys it. That's the Krishna who's worshipped in this prayer. The origin of the world, the maintainer and destroyer. The entire creation is situated in Krishna. And we are therefore all his servant. Each one of you is situated in Krishna. And your natural relationship, almost like the organs who are situated in your body, they are meant to serve the body, so you are also meant to serve Krishna. The wealth of the world is distributed by him. He has given someone this amount, another that amount. Let us offer our obeisances with full faith unto Sri Krishna, who awards one the ultimate goal. Krishna is to be worshipped. He gives you the goal of your spiritual life. And now he turns to us, you have taken birth for only one purpose. That purpose is to perform devotional service to Krishna. Indeed, everything in this world other than devotional service to Krishna is false. When you meditate about this verse, which I will have for your mobile telephones, you can click, make a shot, photography. When you pray like this, your faith in Krishna and his devotional service is stabilized and maintained. Beautiful, no? This is what we learned from Queen Kunti, and the day after we will have a prayer. But for now, I want to show you a prayer. We need to make a space for this. There is Vrinda Devi who is instructed she knows the border of the space. That space, maybe I see mostly Matajis are there. The chair Matajis can remain on the chair. Chair Matajis, not really. What will it be? What will it be? All of you, you please turn towards the curtain there. I think it will be Lord Nrsingadev who comes out from there. Gokula, du bist soweit? Please stay. So here is a prayer. It is introduced in my songbook by an unknown Vaishnav author. There is some debate. Some say, ISKCON says it's from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Other Sampradayas claim the same prayer and say it is from Mirabai and others. But it's a very good prayer where it's highlighted to ask Krishna to come for himself, just because he's wonderful and not having material desires. It's really a prayer, please let me love and serve you. I will read to you the prayer. Please reside in the temple of my heart, both day and night, O Shri Krishna Murari. I have for devotion some love, garlands and sandalwood. Please accept them, O you who give delight to the heart. In life and in death, I worship you with these offerings, O beautiful one, O enchanter of the heart. Come, O son of Nanda, and I shall perform your artik with the lamp of my prema. Hey, das passt jetzt überhaupt nicht. Wartet mal 5 Minuten, nur 5 Minuten. Also das muss man doch spüren können. Come, O son of Nanda, and I shall perform your artik with the lamp of my prema. A Yamuna of tears cascades incessantly from my eyes in separation from you, O lifter of Govardhan Hill. I cry for you. May I pass my life absorbed in songs of your praise, O Shri Krishna Murari.
Mandire Krishna Murari, Mama Mana Mandire, Rahanishi, Krishna Murari, Shri Krishna Murari, Mama Mana Bhakti Priti Malachanda, Bhakti Priti Malachanda,
Bhakti Priti Malachanda,
Bhakti Priti Malachanda, Tunimyo Henyo Chidananda, Tunimyo Henyo Chidananda, Tunimyo Henyo Chidananda, Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda, Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda,
Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda,
Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda, Sundar hai Manahari, Sundar hai Manahari, Sundar hai Manahari, Krishna Murari, 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 Shri Krishna Murari. Yeshonanda Kumar, Nanda Kumar, Habe Prema Pradipe, Aroti Tomar, Nayana Jamuna, Nayana Jamuna, Jale Aniba, Nayana Jamuna, Jale Aniba, Nayana Jamuna, Jale Aniba, Nayana Jamuna, Jale Aniba, Tumhara Virahe Giridhari,
Bravo! 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 Hare Krishna. So this was the prayer. And thank you very much, Shameshwari. You looked very joyful. And now it's a good time to offer. I'm sorry for being so, so whatever. Insistent. I think you could understand devotion, love, garlands, and sandalwood that was offered. Please accept them. I shall perform your arti with the lamp of my prema. And yes, there are tears in my eyes, which incessantly roll in separation from you. These are prayers, and while the devotee prays them, the mind follows the words, more or less like a calf. This is Jiva Goswami's description. A calf follows the cow because the calf knows, I will drink sweet milk from the udders of the cow. So when the mind in prayer follows the words with deep attention and focus, one will get the nectar, which will, how to say, it becomes a spurti. Spurti means it bursts open as a living presence. Therefore, Rupa Goswami describes Shravana as a dvara, a gateway for experience. No? So when you pray in that way with your mind, your mind needs to know what you pray, and in your heart, a gateway will open, and you will pass through it into the meaning which you see before your eyes on the canvas of your heart. No, this is the idea. And did you like the dance presentation? Devotees of Krishna like to see dramas and the performing arts like dance and everything, because we need to be addressed on various levels so that we can give a full-hearted immersion in Bhakti. I want to just say today was a simple day. We were talking about Queen Kunti. We went, I must admit, in a marathon sprint through her eventful life. The purpose was to show you one dimension of prayer, that is, Krishna is more important than the gifts. I heard one devotee say, when the gopis saw Krishna coming from the forest, they didn't check his dhoti for gifts like mangoes or colors, pigments or so. They were happy to receive Krishna. And as we enter more into the prayers, we can take this thing with us. We are in Vaishnavism not so much interested in gifts, material gifts, material fulfillment of prayers, but we are interested in Krishna. That is important because the day after tomorrow we will enter into an overview of Kunti's prayers and then do actually one of her prayers. She is a guided prayer session which is very experiential. You will like very much. So I have come to the end. We have 10 more minutes for questions and answers. Is there anything you would like to ask or mention in the terms of give and take? How did you like this point with unanswered prayers? Interesting, no? Yeah. Here's one devotee. Your good name is Danya, no? Danya, yes. Danya, this is famous Danya, yes. Hare Krishna, yes.
My husband is the famous Bali. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for this class. And when you were speaking about Queen Kunti at the point of the Kurukshetra war, she's an elder in her family. Spiritually and also familially, she's an elder, she's a grandmother. And she's going to experience further calamities as the Mahabharata progresses.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning that although internally she was fully surrendered, she was a present, totally dynamic family member. She had close, intimate relationships with all of her family members, and she was able to contribute meaningfully to all of them, even to Krishna himself, where they were able to be affectionate and open their hearts to one another, even though the roles were sort of, as you were saying, like becoming a little tricky because it's Krishna's nature. So I was wondering if you could speak to the importance of devotees, especially those of us in family life, to maintain that spirit of internal surrender and cultivate that, to aspire for that, and for it not to be contradictory, to also be fully present and nourish our relationships and cultivate them and develop them with love and affection.
Thank you for this wonderful question, because it gives us an opportunity. Have you understood the question?
Yes.
No? How do we maintain this focus on Krishna, but also on our relations? There is something very enigmatic in her prayers, which will answer the question. It is here. It's 1842. She says, and it really requires, Prabhupada writes a deep purport on this. It requires something. She says something which at first glance seems that she turns away from her complex family relationships. She had sons on both sides of the conflict, no? Karna and the Pandavas were on opposite sides. So it was a complex situation. Her sons were fighting with each other for life and death. So she says, we don't speak a little for the Sanskrit. It's so nice. Tvayime nanya vishaya matir madhu pate sakrit ratim utvahatat adha gange vogam udanvati. Please listen very carefully. You will have to switch on your intelligence. Danya, you are always, I'm saying the crowd, not the others. O Lord of Madhu, is Krishna, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. So if we hear this, we think, my God, she's turning away. The image is that of the Ganga who pushes away rocks and trees which have fallen in its way to go directly into the sea without diversion. Is Queen Kunti from the Pandavas and the Vrishnis? In the purport to this, Prabhupada gives what I consider the secret of healthy relationships. He says, there were two kinds of relationships that Kunti had for the Vrishnis and the Pandavas. Skin relationships, that is biological, and and spiritual relationships. And when she says, let everything, all other relationships go out of the way, she speaks about material relationships and extols the beauty of spiritual relationship. And then Prabhupada, now what is a spiritual relationship to family members, for instance, or near and dear close friends? In the purport, Prabhupada says, speaks about spiritual relationships as relationships where Krishna is present. I will soon give a purport, but let me first stick with Srila Prabhupada. He gives an example. He says, when two people walk in the darkness, they can't really recognize each other. But when there is the sun up in the sky, they will see each other in the sunlight. So when relationships without Krishna, we can't see each other, our needs, what is really behind everything, what is the ultimate fulfillment. Whereas relationships that are Krishna conscious are different. And here is now my purport, how they can be different. In relationships with Krishna, you see the other as a part of Krishna. And even at times of disagreement, which are natural for human beings because we are so different we are different genders, different views. Even at times of difference, you can see the equality. We are all part of Krishna. And we can say that famous word, this important word, which needs to be said when they are difficult in relationships. Anyway, not important. Yeah, and we can support each other on our way. This is one spiritual. It means also respect for each other, unwavering respect, even when you see the human being in the other person exploding and screaming at you. Now you are part of it. You see spiritually. And this spiritual maturity, that this elevated vision, so to say, will take care in the depth of the relationships, in the breadth of the relationship, in the here's a difficult word for me, longevity, say the word? Longevity in the relationship. And you won't give up so easily. Danya, because your question shows me a thoughtful mind, I really would recommend you to go to this beautiful verse. I see you have no notes, but your neighbors have note. 1:8:42. My dear devotees, I learned this. I have come from a part of, Germany is already bad in some sense because they're so aggressive. I come from the most aggressive part of Germany, the North German part. We are descendants from the Vikings. And we have a tendency to be judgmental of others. And it was difficult for me in Krishna consciousness to stop this tendency. And then I read as a young devotee, is the first canto, this explanation of spiritual relationships. Whew. And I thought, okay, I have seen people materially. Now let me try to see them spiritually. And it has helped me to avoid grave mistakes in my relationships. But it will become very clear. I sometimes in marriages, and I have this nature still from North Germany to shock my audience. So I say, my dear people, you are now marrying, but there need to be a third person. What if my wife is in love with another? Or if the man is in, if there's a third, a woman is like, what is this? And I said, the third person must be Krishna. Hare Krishna. Once I was almost kicked out of a marriage. Let me finish my point. Hare Krishna. We have reached 6 o'clock. I want to thank you very much for your kind participation. And on Thursday, we will have some other surprise, which will also be very nice, hopefully. All the best, and Hare Krishna. Haribo. I know your other sister. Please help me. Shada. I know her.